Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. At least it's noon for me. I know some places it's still not noon. But, you know, good news. Not good news. Good afternoon anyways. Just a small warning. My Guardians are out currently. And they're probably going to be coming back really soon. How dare you take a bite out of a model? That is discrimination. So if there's a moment where I kind of pause and mute, that's because my guardians have returned, and I just don't want to have a bunch of sound, as my dogs probably will be freaking out. Speaking of dogs, Fred is actually just at my feet right now, so if you hear any big huffs or jingles or anything like that, that is Fred being a dog. Today we're building the Gundam Dandelion from Gundam IBO, specifically a side story. And without further ado, I think we should get rootin' tootin' and scootin' all the way into this new model. I've never built this one before. Yes. That is, yes, please take a bite out of me. So let me just, there we go. Switch to here. So, as per usual, let me just throw on my desktop audio. We got some lo-fi playing. No copyright, luckily. And let me just pull up the instructions real quick so I don't have to constantly be looking at a sheet of paper. There we go. Hang on a second. Hang on a tick.
No.
Ah, there we go. Okay, we're good. Here we are. So in all honesty, I could probably build a lot of this without actually having to look at the instructions. At least the inner frame, which is what we'll be starting with. Interestingly enough, an interesting fact, I should say, about Gundam IBO kits is that almost all of them have inner frames. Inner frames being like the skeleton of the mobile suit in question, and all the Gundams relatively share the same one. There's some changes between, I guess you could call them additions. Primarily speaking, just stuff like polycap, limb size, stuff like that. Placements of items. Let me just clean this part up real quick. Bring it close because I actually need to properly see the part being cleaned here. Also, sorry if you hear it actually being sanded on. I guess you all just have to deal with some ASMR sanding for a second. Actually, hang on. Let me put my optics on real quick, or my advanced optics on, so I don't have to hold it so close to my monitor to actually see. All right, so that's one part. Then B. So what's also interesting about the Dandelion is that it is a the base mobile suit is very skeletal, right? It's a very skeleton looking machine compared to most Gundams, I would say, or like just mechs in general. And that's because this thing is supposed to have a thing called a full cowl, which basically is just a full armor plus, I would say. It's very interesting design choice, to say the least. How's this supposed to go in? I'm holding it upside down. Here we go. Please also tell me if the audio is messed up or anything like that. As always, it's a situation where I can't actually tell until someone tells me. So that's the first part. Then you see polycap 2s. So I haven't built an IBO mobile suit in a really long time. That's just because here in the West, at least, well, back where I used to live before I moved, they're pretty hard to find, all things considered, which you know, was a bummer. IBO, I think I've said it on stream before, IBO was my first ever Gundam series I watched, so it has like a special place in my CPU. I realize that it's not the best Gundam out there, not by a long shot, but it still means a lot to me, and I still like watching it from time to time, just because it's you know, it was my first. You can't, it's a hard time. It's like remembering your first anime. Well, that's because the MG Barbados, or Barbatos, in the grand scheme of things, just came out compared to the high grades, which came out. Jeez, I think it's almost 5 years already. Jeez, I think it's about 5 years, give or take. Damn, God, I've been watching Gundam for a while. 5 or 6 years. I don't remember the exact date, but it's getting there in age. And the MG Barbados came out about last year, I think, around this time. There was like a 2-year gap between season 2 and season 1. It wasn't just like it isn't what you would expect, where it was just like I don't remember the exact date. I just know that it's there was a gap between season 1 and season 2. That was, all things considered, pretty lengthy for a Gundam show to have a gap in seasons, which is why usually online you can only find, like, it's called Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans 2 because of the gap. So basically making it a second, like a sequel rather than a season 2, even though all things considered it's just a season 2. It is interesting. It is coming. It's all coming back to me, because some of my first high grades, my first ever high grade was actually the Gundam Barbados. Yeah, just the normal Gundam Barbados, not the 6th form, but the first one you could get. Which honestly was just the first form, and I think the 5th form, 5th or 4th. Which, you know, the 4th form, 4th or 5th, I don't remember the exact designation, was iconic. It was an iconic look. Like, it's in all the marketing. It's like, if the Barbados is in a video game, it's 100% that form. All that stuff, right? It is the form. For a Gundam anime, it was considered a long pause. Most Gundam animes, if they get a second season, it's usually right after the first season with like a little month gap in the center. Compared to Iron-Blooded Orphans, which had, I think, 2 or 3 years in between seasons, which had most people which had them label it as a sequel rather than a season 2. Especially because I would say season 2 of Iron-Blooded Orphans is an independent story from season 1, right? You need to watch season 1 to understand what's up with season 2, but there's very little crossover story-wise when it comes to season 1 and season 2, right? Like, they're not even really fighting Gallahorn until the very end of season 2. If anything, season 1 is much more about the actual mafia part of the story coming to fruition and catching up with Tekkadan until the very end. Yeah. D1. Again, some black parts on this bad boy. You find D4. D4 right here. That's D4. I'm gonna bring it close because the runner is very oddly organized. Don't exactly trust myself to cut in front of the camera right now. This is how oddly organized it is. Oh, I'm hearing rustling. I think my guardians are returning. My my room is right next to the stairs of the apartment building, so I can hear when people are coming up and down the stairs. And either when someone's coming down the stairs, it's usually someone who isn't in my apartment currently, or delivery driver. Because I currently think the next door neighbors are vacant currently, so I don't really ever get anybody coming through there. What's also neat about Iron Blood Orphans kits is that they were designed to be incredibly modular. It's like the front piece right here, this chest piece, could be exchanged with like the Gundam Barbatos or Barbados. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't remember. It's been a while. And they're meant to be like compatible with each other in that way. God, this is a really weird placement they have me going on. Have me doing. There we go. I think that's it. It's weird, they usually don't get back armor like that. But yeah, I'm not complaining. What's also neat is I think this one in particular gets a lot of really odd armor placements. It makes it look very humanoid. Like the part I'm about to put on right now is like shoulder armor, but like I would say it's more like clavicle armor rather than shoulder armor. Just like armor placed up on the like collarbone rather than what you would expect shoulder armor to be. Of course, it actually is shoulder plates, but this thing is very lightly armored. The core Gundam itself is very lightly armored. Well, that's the first drop of the day. There we go. Very oddly shaped part. So I was like, I saw the part and I'm like, my fate, it calls me. My fate being the first drop of the day. Oh no. There we go. So see what I mean? Like it kind of adds a lot of bulk. I would say almost like a realistic amount of bulk between the shoulders and the neck joints area, which makes me think it looking much more like a kind of like a skinned person, right? Because there's a lot more mass up here. I think it's much more apparent when I actually put the head on, but like it looks really weird. Yeah, listen, my fingies right now, they're made of felt, so they're very yeet heavy. They're prone to yeetage, if you will. There we go. Nice and snug. One. I think that's a yellow. Yep, it is a yellow part. It is the titty vents. Titillage. So, everybody, I just want to talk about this on stream a bit, I guess. We are making the Gundam Dandelion from Gundam IBO, a side story. Welcome back, Psycho Yandere. I'm just gonna call you Yandere if that's all right. I bought this about last week because I was really bored, and I thought, hey, might as well have a build stream if I'm getting some Gunpla. So we're doing a build stream. I don't think I'm gonna put many stickers on this. At least not. Maybe, I'm not sure. There's a lot of decals. Probably only gonna put the eyes on because it's kind of weird looking without the eyes. But yeah, I want to talk about this on stream real quick. To those who don't know, which I think is most people on the stream right now, my birthday is coming up. Well, it's not my birthday, but my activation day is coming up. And ironically enough, not ironically, but unintentionally so, my debut anniversary is coming up a week after my activation day, right? So I was wondering, would y'all be like upset if I do like 2 event streams in that time period? They'd be a week apart, because I don't exactly want to do another sub-donathon. At least not yet, but I just want to talk about this and see your opinions, because I've been debating it for a while. That being debating if I should have multiple celebration streams in such a short time period. I don't know what I would do, but I think it would be something special. Like, you know, endurance stream. I've been wanting to do a 24-hour stream, but I'm thinking about doing that for my my anniversary stream, right? All right, see you back when you're taking a shower, getting that stinky off. Anti-stink squad up in here. But yeah, I was thinking about doing a 24-hour stream. For that, for the anniversary at least, right? Because like starting at midnight, I like, you know, I'd charge beforehand and everything like that. Ooh, I got a breakage. Ooh, I broke. Uh-oh, my fuselage broke a little bit. Uh-oh. Got a snap. Oh no, look at that. Got a little snappy, a little snap area. Dang, you hate to see it. Anyways, let's just move on with that. I'll repair it before next build stream. I was thinking for my birthday I'd do another build stream. I got a second dose. Heck yeah, you're nice and immune now. Can't get, well, you can still get sick, but nice and at non-threat to others and yourself. You'd love to see it. That is a pog worthy moment, I'd say. Come on, Peace, go in. Go in, Peace. There we go. Nice. And that is the chest. So this chest looks very weird compared to most IBO, right? Most IBO chests don't exactly look like this. Particularly with the shoulder area. But anyways, let's build the head. Oh, I forgot how quick it is building the thing, you know, the Gundams. Right runner, it's not the right runner. This right here, this is the right runner. I mean, a little threat, but a different kind of threat. Yeah, I mean, you're not a threat of making other people sick, right? That's the important part, right? You don't want people to get sick. That's the main thing. Don't get people sick. There we go. And you know how it is, just a little sandwich. I'm gonna bring this one close because I can. These parts are high drop risk. I can feel it. High drop risk right here. So I'm holding these parts close in an effort to prevent drops because they're very small parts. And if I drop these on the carpet, unlike the previous parts, I might not be able to get them back if I drop them. So, high risk parts. We got the eyes. Possibly the worst gate. Seriously, that is the worst gate placement I've ever seen for eyes on a Gundam. Jeez. For the mask. There's the mask. The mask is so weird looking. I'll give you all a close up of the mask when I'm done cutting or assembling it. There we go. Yeah, I'm a little upset about the fact that I broke. My chassis broke a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not like I can do anything about it right now. After the stream, though. After the stream. I'm repairing myself. So, I don't think I'm gonna put the stickers on. I'm probably gonna do that retro, like, after the stream. Because the eyes are a little fiddly looking, but here you go. See the, come on, focus. See the weird looking mask? Looks much more skeletal. Also, fun fact, I believe I can just, yep, there it is. That's the inner frame of the head. Everything else is just arms, not arms, but armor that you slap on. There's some weird shaped parts I'm also holding it close because I don't want to. This one looks substantially more sturdy, like complete thing instead of stuff bolted onto an endoskeleton. Well, it is what it is. I don't have an argument against that because you're right. you are not incorrect when you say that. Gate placements on the head suck. Seriously, what is with these placements on the gates? They're so poorly placed. Like, they put the gate on a curved spot. go. Look, I'm so upset that I need to handle the Barbados loop so it doesn't snap in half. Yeah, I mean, that's an issue that everyone has with it. Which, I mean, that's not me trying to discount your complaints, because they are valid, right? A model kit, I think, should be able to not snap in half, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. You can tighten up those joints using paint and or like floor wax if it's particularly bad. Since it is IBO frames, I'd recommend using floor wax to tighten up the ball joint right here, and tighten up specifically the socket, not the ball itself. That might help out with the slippage. So that either floor wax or paint. That's how you fix that up, or at least help make it more secure. I saw a custom the other day, because I peruse custom Gundams because I think they're very cool, all things considered. Oh, come on, work with me here, part. There we go. What was I talking about? Ah, yes, custom models. I was perusing custom models the other day of Gundams, and someone made a custom ashtray, which honestly was barely an ashtray in the first place, because they like built most of like the arms and stuff. And they, so like, you know, they built a Gerber straight, which they called the Master Straight. And I was like, okay, cool. It's just a Gerber straight though. The Gerber straight is the name of the katana that Stray Gundam uses, by the way. To those who don't know. Well, specifically the red frame uses. That's when they got to the last picture. Yeah, that sword was scratch built, and they built a fucking Tang. They built a Tang for that sword. So like the handle and the crossguard, that was all scratch built and put over a Tang, like an actual Tang that you would use on like an actual sword. I was sitting there, I'm like, what the beans? What do you mean? How do you do that? like how do you build a Tang for a sword, like for a Gundam at that scale? Because it was 1/144th, it was a small thing, and they built a fucking Tang. Here's the head, by the way. You can see what I mean, where it looks more proportional than actually human. Also, the head just looks weird. It caught me so off guard that I did like a double take, because it was a full Tang. It was a full Tang, right? It was a full Tang katana. I mean, like the Tang, right? This has a Tang. There's a metal rod on the inside of this that the rubber is around. That is what a Tang is. They made a sword. They made a sword, right? With a Tang for a Gundam. It was honestly one of the most impressive like weapons for a custom model I've ever seen. Because like, in my opinion, a lot of custom model kits, their weapons kind of fall to the wayside. Usually like using just the same weapons that the base model uses, or like one or two parts are swapped around. Nah, this dude went fucking above and beyond and scratch built the sword from scratch and gave it a fucking Tang. So the durability of the sword itself would be super high, because the tang is like meant to hold the sword together, right? It's like the spine of a sword. So like I can just imagine in like a Gundam build fighter situation, that sword being super OP because it has a full tang. So that thing's not gonna snap. At least the handle isn't gonna snap off the, you know, words and stuff. I need some coolant. If you couldn't tell, I was very impressed with the model kit that they built. It made me want to build better models myself. Which ultimately, if that is the results, I think that was a well-made model. It's the closest thing I had to a scratch-built sword was for a custom Gundam called the Gundam Bathim. The Gundam Bathim had a Buster sword. That's the second drop. So yeah, it had a custom Buster sword, and the sword was pretty bad. Upon retrospect, it was very poorly made. So I kind of want to rebuild the sword, because I think now with what the skills I have, I can do a lot better making that thing sword. Well, that's the third drop. Listen, I was just trying to clean my stuff. That's all I want to do. I just want to clean the parts. I don't want to drop him. Yeah. I feel like I should get a counter. Should I make a counter? Oh yeah, that thing was falling apart. Okay. I was talking about the chassis part that is breaking off of me right now. I looked at it and I'm like, ooh, that thing is begging to fall apart anyways. I might go chassis-less again, honestly. Let's do the projection of Roboy like last time. I almost dropped a part. It's more like the part flung out from the runner after I was done cutting it out. I don't think that would count. That shouldn't count, right? If a part falls out of the runner, like pops out. Oh. We're back, babes. So I just had to say hi to my guardians and stuff. Caretakers. Gave them the debrief of taking care of the pups. Okay. So I was just pulling out Floyd hairs that were like tangled with the part from me dropping them. Just because of how fuzzy that dog is. Ah, part. Oh no. I dropped a part. I simulate Pong when I I'm doing be right back. I dropped a part. I dropped one of the high risk parts and I don't know if I can get the part back. I don't know where the part went. I'm looking on the floor. The carpet, so it's really hard to see. I found it. Doesn't help that the part was like the same tone as my carpet. Yeah, the part was like the same tone as my carpet, so it was really hard to see where the part was. But I found it, so we're back in business, is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It's RCB. It's a carpet I dropped the part on, so it was like that's a small part, so the shadows just look the same. Yeah, the shadows would just look very similar to each other at least. I was about to be very upset if I wasn't able to find the part. But hey, that was the first ever critical drop. Yeah, first ever critical drop in the stream. I think it depends on how tight your carpet is, RCB, because my carpet is very much a shaggy one. Like it's the type that if you step on a part, it probably will get pressed into the carpet. Yeah, with the shoulders, it looks very human with how the shoulders are arranged. It's very weird. Oh, this is super weird. The arms are like completely different from like a normal IBO Gundam. This is super weird. Like the top's the same, right? The top is very much the same. But the normal parts you'd use on a IBO Gundam is almost immediately discarded after that point. Okay. Do. So as you can see, this part right here, this is where it changes from the normal IBO frame. This is where it all starts changing. For the better, for the worse, let's find out. Who's to say, but God? I've been watching a lot of Brennan Lee Mulligan content again. He's a super funny dude. I love watching him play D&D and like different role-playing games. And there is one time where he played in a game where he was playing as Tony the Tiger. And he did like a soliloquy as he's about to like execute someone, and he ends it by saying, "They're great." And that soliloquy that he did for that moment lives rent free in my CPU, to say the least. Lives rent fucking free. Oh, I did the parts backwards. Is that the Sadbot TV? Hello, Sad. It's been a long time since we last talked. I assembled parts incorrectly. We're building a Gundam today. I had what I would call a critical. Speaking of dropping, I'm doing pretty well. I dropped a part, but I managed to find it, but it took some looking, and I was very concerned that I might have lost the part since it's on my carpet. But I found it, so we're doing pretty good. My hope is to be able to finish the build before another VTuber friend I have does the 3D debut today. I would like to watch it, so you know how it is. But how are you, Sad? As I said, it's been a hot second since we last talked. Heck yeah, what kind of quesadilla was it? You know, was it meat? Was it veggie? Was it cheese? No, looking at this, these are all leg parts right here. There's some cheese and spicy sauce. Heck yeah. I'm here for that. I like myself some quesadillas with just cheese and spicy sauce. Not gonna lie, I have eaten something like that before just for breakfast once. It was very satisfying. Although, did feel very fat afterwards. Even though I'm a robot, I can't get fat. Yeah. Are these like the same on, yeah, same on the same both sides. They are mirrored parts. So I was just observing the part, like how the parts look. Have you posted a picture of your model collection on Twitter or anything? Not my entire model collection, because that would take a while for me to get everything together. But I've posted pictures of my builds on Twitter. I think the latest one I did was the perfect grade. We got a perfect grade Gundam. And I built it and posted pictures of it on Twitter. I do have a small collection now that I could take a picture of. It's a situation where most of my stuff is in storage because of the move, and I'm not gonna get the stuff back until at least next year, which is great because stuff keeps happening with the supposed house that we're getting built. As you can tell, I'm a little salty about it. Because all my model building stuff is in there. Including like my airbrush. It's not that I don't have anywhere to put them, it's more like because of this move that I have with my family, I had to put them in storage. Because, you know, I'm in an apartment right now compared to a house. Yeah, hopefully. It's frustrating. I feel like I have the right to be frustrated, as does everyone else in my family. Because trust me, to say the least, We are getting a lawyer involved at this point because of how one of the people are operating. So to say the least, shit's getting real. Yeah. Yeah, either way, it is what it is. I do have a couple of VODs of me building stuff as well. I usually like to show off the model at the end of the stream. As you can tell, I also had I broke a little bit. Had a little bit of a failure, and now I have a little dingly part I need to repair after the stream's over. Yeah, that's like, it is what it is has been like the mantra I've been trying to live by with all this shit going on. Cause it's hard, you know? It's hard sometimes to remain super positive, but at least in Nakam Ascension, I'm one of the more positive people, and I'd like to keep it that way. Yeah. But yeah, that's the arms. Also very thin arms, right? Very thin arms. Which again is just making me think this thing looks very skeletal. Oh, time to build funky feet. Time for funky feet time. D1 and D2. Where's D? Such a weird runner. Right, this runner is very weird. Yeah, its feet are like vented. It's super weird, but like in a cool way. No, I vibe with the weird suits. By the way, Sad, I don't think you were here for me talking about this. It is my birthday coming up, as well as my debut anniversary. They're actually a week apart, which I think is very funny, unintentionally so. So I'm gonna be doing some special events for my birthday and my debut anniversary. I think I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream, which might be difficult, but I would like to try to do it for the debut one, at least for the debut anniversary. And for my birthday, I'm not sure what I'm doing on my birthday. I'm trying to do a collab or something just to hang out with people. I know it's a long time. I hope I can do it. When I was first activated, when I was first activated, I used to actually stay up late all the time, because I had a TV in my room, and instead of charging, I would stay up super late, watching Disney Channel, because the late hours, that's when they do reruns of like the Tarzan cartoon, which I watched a shit ton of. I watched so much of that cartoon. So of course, when I had to go to school the following morning, I would sleep through most of like if I'm being honest, I slept through most of 4th grade. But because of how grades work in the United States, I just kept going. I wasn't held back or anything. I slept through most of 4th grade because I was trying to watch Tarzan and like Kim Possible at like 3 in the morning. Oh man. I was a dumb little robot boy back then. Working about 4 or 5 to watch Invader Zim and Inuyasha every morning. Watch a lot of show about a guy clad only long. What are you trying to imply here, RCB? Because if you're implying that Tarzan was a slight sexual sexual awakening for this robot, I mean, I'm pan. I think that should say enough. That says enough about that experience. I'm pan, so I'm not allowed in the kitchen anymore, to say the least. Which is the joke every pansexual has ever made ever. Please laugh. Please laugh now. Because I did the funny joke about pansexuals. Yeah. I did the funny joke. And I've never actually seen that show. I've heard it's good, but I haven't seen it, unfortunately. I think the most classic show that I watched, excluding Gundam, since Gundam is 40 years old, by the way. I just want to make that very apparent that like some Gundam shows are older than like your parents, depending on when your parents had you and stuff. Haven't seen it since I was a kid. Gotta be watching. My dad was born in 1950. Never mind. That obviously excludes you, sad. But you know, some people's parents were born later than that, or not later, earlier. Wait, would it be later or early? Born after 1950. That is what I'm trying to say. Also, I just want to say, I think it's very cool and sexy of me being able to talk and actually build at the same time. Because, you know, I think I'm having a pretty, I think at least I'm having a pretty active dialogue with y'all. And I'm still building. I've kind of stopped cleaning the parts unless I need to. But you know, like for instance, I'm actually gonna clean the. Hang on, there's a Floyd hair stuck in the. There's a Floyd hair stuck. I can't grip it. Okay, I can't grip it hard enough. Oh, thank you. Ooh, actually, I was slouching super hard there. Thank you. Yeah, I was slouching hardcore there. Alright, it's time to get some more feetsies. Coolant will do. Thank you. Now this is definitely a first world issue problem here. I've been having to drink most of my water from like a filtered pitcher, and I'm just used to having a fridge that does that. So I don't know. It tastes a little different, is what I'm trying to say. Not massively, but you know, a little. Have I ever told y'all that I was in a marching band? Yeah, I was part of a marching band when I was going through high school. And a little bit in college. I played the alto saxophone. You can't see it, but there is a little hatch underneath my monitor that allows me to take and eat, drink, all that stuff like that. And it allowed me to blow air as well into the saxophone. I don't know who Jonathan Frakes is. If I'm being honest here, I chose the alto saxophone back in elementary school for entirely shallow reasons. I play like the saxophone like in my like school career for about 10 years. I never practiced or anything, but I did just kind of naturally get better. But I digress. I chose the alto saxophone, even though I was recommended I could play to play the tuba more. Purely because I thought it would help me get a girlfriend when I was like in 5th grade. I thought if I play the saxophone, people would be like, "Oh, yeah, the tuba. I can release I have very big air tanks, so I was able to play the tuba very well. Like I was like the only kid who was actually able to create a sound that was like an actual tuba, rather than, you know, usual kid honks. But yeah, I chose the tuba. My boyfriend in 6th grade played the trumpet, and he sat behind me, and it was so bad. Yeah, yeah. I chose the saxophone entirely because I thought it would help me get a girlfriend in 5th and 6th grade. And then to say the least, that didn't. No, it did not. To say the least, it did not help me at all. Oh, thank you for the follow, David. Yeah, I thought it would also help me get a boyfriend at the time as well. Cause like, you know, like I said, kind of had a sexual awakening. Yeah, I'm actually getting really close to 200 followers. I believe you are my 198th follower. So I'm very close to having 200 follows, which is pretty good. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably another karaoke night. I like doing karaoke for celebrating stuff. I think it's fun. It's fun. It's cheap. I think everyone enjoys it to some extent. If you haven't been to one of my karaoke streams before, they are unarchived because I don't want to get copyright stricken into the ground. So you just gotta be there, you know. You gotta be there or be square, or not, because, like, you know, there's no contractual obligation or anything for people to watch my streams. But hey, thank you once again, David, for the follow. I highly appreciate you. You're just one step closer to getting for 200, which is not to discount you at all. I realize that sounded pretty bad, but I appreciate every person who follows. I I plan on doing a similar thing to what Timora did. Where I want to read every single follower in order when I hit 1,000 followers. I hope to be popular one day to get 1,000 followers because you know, Timora is very popular. I think I'm honored to be in a group with Timora and Calarothema and Orion, Lex, Maple. But you know, sometimes I just think I'm not as popular as them. Like Orion, right? Orion doesn't stream a whole lot anymore, mainly because of just personal things. Yes, this is the Dantalion. From Mobile Suit Gundam Ironblood Orphans side story. Yeah. Yeah, it's not to get super heavy, but you know, I just don't think I'm as popular as they are, and you know, it is what it is. I like streaming. I'm not doing it to be popular. I'm doing it because I enjoy it, and VTubing has genuinely created a atmosphere that I feel much more comfortable streaming in compared to like a live face cam, for instance, right? Because very little streamers what am I trying to say here? Streaming tends to have the stigma that you need to have some sort of facial camera to go along with you, so you can see the reactions and stuff like that. But I just don't really want to show off my goods that way. Plus, you know, I think most people will be pretty disturbed by the fact that I'm a robot. So, you know, VTubing has created a much better environment for me to actually stream. And yeah, I stream because it's fun and not because I'm gonna get popular with it. Popularity isn't even a thing I really think about most of the time, if I'm being honest. Most of the time I'm thinking about, oh, I wonder if people will actually like watching me play this game. You know what I mean? It's like, I wonder if this game was actually good enough for people to be like, oh yeah, this is interesting, or like, more like, oh, I wonder if I can play this game and actually talk enough to make it interesting. Which I think overall, I think I've been getting really good at just filling dead air, luckily. To me, it doesn't need to be filled constantly, but you know, it definitely helps if you're always talking. Quick tips with Basco Prula, I guess. Plus, you know, dead air sometimes is necessary. Like when I'm focusing, I can't talk a whole lot. Like, you know, cleaning this part right here is the gate placements on this model suck. So far I like most of the model, but it's just like the gate placements are very bad. They're very bad. They make it the assembly very difficult because of how the gate placements are, or at least cleaning the part makes it very difficult to clean the part when the gates are located where they are. It's like they place they place a lot of the gates so far like on the inside of curves and stuff like that, which makes it like pretty difficult to reach without having like a hobby knife, which luckily I have a hobby knife, as you see. But you know, it's definitely something. It's definitely a detraction, I would say. It detracts from the model because I'm too busy trying to clean the part than actually building the model. Which I suppose is just another sign of it's a inside, yeah. Well, glass files, the issue with glass files is that, you know, they tend to have a certain width, right? Like this. And I don't have a glass file. And two, like the inside of like of these curves, like right here, right? Or like right here. That's where they would put the nub. And it's like, can't really reach that with anything except for a hobby knife. Or here, no, like, yeah, just look right here, right? Like it's on the inside of like two meeting curves. You know, I also saw something a little sad this morning, and that was the creator. So there's a show I like. Give context, I suppose. There's a show I like called Final Space, and the creator of Final Space made a YouTube video today announcing the fact that there's no more Final Space. And that made me very sad because Final Space, like, at first glance, Final Space was like a show that seemed to be like a shitty parody of like Star Trek, kind of like Star Trek Lower Decks or whatever it was called. But you know, it kind of became something way bigger than that, and like a genuinely good show to watch. And it made me just sad seeing that it got canceled, you know. Whatever the creator is doing next, I'm looking forward to it. But it's just, you know, it's just a sad thing. You know, it's just like I like the show, and it makes me sad because it left on a cliffhanger. There's a cliffhanger, right? And according to the creator, the show ended in the middle of what they wanted to do, right? They had 3 seasons, which is already really hard to do. Especially if it's not like a smash hit, because every studio, right? Every studio wants to make the next Rick and Morty, or like the next Family Guy, or the next American Dad, which I know is just the same creator, but point still stands. So when something more, I guess, unique with its adultness, because I mean, it was an adult cartoon, right? Don't get me wrong. But when something, I guess, like more serious and serial comes by, they tend to not do as well. Studio side, because the studio thinks that the studio tends to think that having an episodic show that, or like if it's a serial show, it has to be kind of episodic, much like Rick and Morty. Yeah, like I said, the first episode, it has the impression of a crappy Star Trek parody, but it ended up becoming like a show about loss and grieving and like finding your family, both like blood and like found family, and like dealing with like love and just like all that shit, man. It was a good show and they canceled it. I enjoyed that show thoroughly. That's what I'm trying to say here. The crime that they couldn't finish the story. Especially because, like I said, they finished it in like the middle of the show, right? It's like, right? Like I understand if it's like if they get canceled and they can make like a finale out of it, right? But they couldn't, right? Like he said, like at least not like the way he wants it, the creator. And I respect him because he wants to finish the show, but the studio and like producers and stuff aren't letting him. And they're trying to shoot for an hour-long special, and I think he turned it down. Which, fair enough, right? Also, here's the internal frame on the legs. Sorry, hang on. What do you mean? A joke the creators wanted to make for the cliffhanger? What show are you talking about here? Just out of morbid curiosity. Humor me, RCB's corner. Panning stalking with garter belt. Did they do that? Did they make just a cliffhanger because they wanted to make it a joke? Who animated like what studio was Pantene stalking with garter belt? It wasn't the Studio Trigger, right? Studio Gainax? Okay. Because I know that Studio Triggers, I think they're still wanting to do like the Trigger Girls animes. What I mean by Trigger Girls is like Space Patrol Lococo is... So yes, it was... Okay. I thought so, right? Studio Trigger has a very... what's the word? Iconic way of animating their shows. It's very obvious when it's Studio Trigger making a show. They make motion very obvious. That's Studio Trigger. Like for instance, the new Star Wars animes, which is again I think a weird thing to make. I saw the trailer. I was like, oh look. Well, still, the point being is that Studio Trigger has a very obvious animation style, and it kind of it seems to me while watching it that that style kind of carried over from Gainax to Studio Trigger. How the heck am I supposed to put this on? Come on, please work with me here. There we go. There we go. Ah, yes, the customary entire front plate of leg being a single piece. IBO edition. As in, that is the thing that happens with IBO kits. They tend to make the very front of the leg just one slab of plastic. Which, while yes, eliminates seam lines, also can create mold lines. Like, this one doesn't have a mold line, luckily, but you know. You know. If you know, you know. There we go. But yeah, like as I was saying, I think Studio Trigger definitely has a, they have a look. Like the Star Wars anime, right? I definitely was like, I was looking at the trailer for that. I'm like, oh hi Studio Trigger, because it was very obvious that Studio Trigger was a part of that project. You could tell because of their animation style. Also, the colors tend to be very vibrant. Like Brand New Animal, right? Even like in a city setting, they managed to make like a mute vibrancy, which I know is oxymoronic at face value, but what I mean is that it's definitely kind of like it's a show where even though it's in a dull city, there's still a liveliness and vibrance to the city in question, as well as colors. Alright, so we're almost done with the legs. Actually, we're almost done with this entire runner. So I think I've mentioned this every build stream. I usually listen to Gundam while building model kits, so it's definitely a different experience building to lo-fi. So I've definitely seen some Gundam shows so much that I've basically met. Is this not okay? This is not in all the way. Hang on, I gotta do quick correction. There we go. I've also I don't think I've told y'all, but this robot can dream, in fact. Um, and while I was doing the disco subadonathon, I had numerous dreams where I thought I was getting raided. I would wake up, as in I would stop charging, right? To thank the person who I thought was raiding me. Just in the middle of the night. And one night the caretaker just like walked in and was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I was getting raided." And I looked at, I realized I was in bed. I was in my bed, charging, and Twitch was off. Like, I turned Twitch off the night before, and I was like, well, now I just look crazy. I don't know why I had those dreams. I don't know why I had specifically getting raided dreams. It was super weird that I had those dreams for a short while, but you know, they stopped eventually. But like, I think twice throughout the Disco Subadonathon near the end, I woke up like that, thinking a non-existent raider for raiding me. Let's see, next page. Wait, what? There we go. Leg. We are, I forgot how quick it was to build IBO Gundams. Which, I mean, we still have like an entire ass backpack to build, so we can't really call it done yet, but still just like something I'm like, oh, I forgot how quick they were, you know? They're very quick builds, all things considered. Which again is not a bad thing. In fact, I actually like doing quick builds because I like seeing the finished products. That's probably one reason why I like grunt suits so much, because they tend to be very quick in the build department. But yeah, I like grunts. Grunts are very fun to build. I like GMs. I love building myself a GM. I love building myself a Zaku. I love building myself a Dom, and actually I don't have any Doms. I should probably change that soon. Next time I go building, like looking for a model to build, I'll get a Dom. Assuming the store has a Dom. I'll get a Dom or a Dom equivalent. So like Dom Chopins, I would say equivalents would also be like the, what's it called? Rick Dios. Rick Dioses were developed from Doms. Zekus, which is Zeku Ein. Those are Dom babies, or Dom philosophy at least. Drezians I would love to build someday, but I need to find those. Oh, there's no side skirts on this dude. There's no side skirts on this boy. This boy's side skirtless. He gets little bumpers. Which is also a high drop risk. Well, I flinched hard, I'm not gonna lie. Also, this one's upside down, babes. Oh my god. I'm just flipping this thing all over the place. There we go. Now, body assembly. Bada bing! We got a boy! Now to build the boy's weapons, which I think might take the most amount of time. So hang on, I'm just gonna check something real quick. Da-da-da. Let's see here. There's someone that I would like to raid at the end. I'm not sure what time they actually start because I don't know the time zone. Let's see. I keep seeing. Oh wow, hang on. There's someone doing a giveaway. Hang on, I'm gonna enter this giveaway real quick. It's the Strike Freedom shoes. Well, not Strike Freedom, but Strike shoes. I was just, I'm trying to see if they're live yet. When they're not, it doesn't seem. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're live quite yet. Good to know. I also just entered a giveaway for for a Gundam. For Gundam shoes. No regrets. I don't even have feet. No regrets. I have like hooves. But it's fitting because I'm actually building a Gundam right now. C10. Where's 10? I'm holding this upside down. C10. Oh. Oh, this is like a multi-sandwich system. Interesting. Interesting. There's also a gun sword. Which is, very IBO weapon. Iron Blood Orphans tend to indulge themselves upon multi-purpose weaponry. As well as like gun swords, or like there's one like the Ashoth Origin, its sheath for its katana is the sheath for its katana is also a hammer. Woo! Almost dropped it. Do we count dropping entire pieces? Do we count that to the count? But yeah, gun sword. Oh, it's not done yet. Need to put that aside. I'm a fool. I'm counting the eggs before they're laid. There we go. Well, I didn't drop it yet. I didn't actually drop it, but like, I was wondering if it counts to if it counts or not. But yeah, gun sword. See, this is the gun, and then this is the sword with an even bigger gun at the end. Because it's Gundam, of course it is. This weapon, in my opinion, is very Gundam 00. Very 00, which I personally enjoy. I like the 00 Gundam. Or the Exia, because I think the Exia actually uses the GN gun sword more than the 00, which just uses normal swords and normal guns. I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But like the Exias is very iconic. But yeah, we got the big pew-pews going on. But I'm gonna fold this right now because it's a bit less weight intensive. At least until we do the ending part. Because the ending part, this is where it gets spicy, y'all. This is where we get to build the cowl. This is where we build the cowl. So this boy's going off to the side for now. Time for the cowl. Okay. So, first things first. This has 2 pages, by the way. It's 2 pages to build this thing. I just want to make that apparent. It's 2 pages of things I need to assemble. Still. I mean, probably one of them is a transformation, or part of the transformation, which, spoilers, the backpack of this mobile suit turns into more arms. There we go. There we I can go. Yeah, well, okay, it's not like the Gundam Gushin Me Big's Full Cities arms. These are beefy arms. These are some beef meisters here. Also, first empty runner. There we go. Okay, so the core of the backpack is now, this is the core. So that's what I would call the inner frame part of the backpack is now over. So time to get serious, y'all. We're getting serious now. I'm gonna actually, no. Actually, yes. We're putting this part on. Because you know what? I just live dangerously like that sometimes. Yeah, I know it's too early, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Cry? Maybe shit and come? There we go. All right. 18 and 18? It's actually telling me to build it in double, so I might not actually have to do... I think the next page is just the transformation part. All right. Time to cut out a bunch of fingies. I'm actually gonna do these in chunks rather than cutting out all the fingies at once. I'm excited. I don't think I'm gonna get them mixed up, but I just don't, just in case. Because it is just a lot of parts. I could probably split these if I wanted to. I think that is a thing I can do, but I don't have the tools to actually split the fingers properly. At least without risking breaking them currently. So I'm not gonna try. If I get another saw, or when I get my saw back, I might, but that's gonna be in like 6 months. I think it's just jamming these bad boys into place. There we go. Then hooking them on there. Then on the other side. Yeehaw. Yeet and hod. I used to be super into a show called Supernatural. I kind of fell off after I realized that there's no stakes in the show, and if the character dies, they'll just come back the next season. Especially if their name is Dean, Sam, or Castiel. And I think the funniest thing ever said in that show was, "You've yeed your last haw." And that was when Dean was trying to kill a phoenix that looked like a person. Because also another thing that you will notice in Supernatural if you decide to watch it, which I don't recommend, is that all the monsters, which shouldn't look like people, just happen to look like a person. AKA, they were very lazy. Also, hello, Damien. Yes, that is where that meme comes from. It is from Supernatural, unfortunately. Yeah, just Supernatural has a bunch of issues with it, like routinely killing all suspense from the show by, like, you know, like I said, like if you're a main character in that show, you don't die. You'll come back the next season if you die. So there's no suspense. And I don't know. It's you know, like at first it was like, you know, the demons were the biggest threat. Then it was Lucifer, which, you know, fair escalation of power, right? That's a fair escalation of power, I think. Demons, then Lucifer. But then it became angels became the biggest threat, and then primordial beings from God were the biggest threats, and then God himself was it's just, you know, the power escalation in that show, those runaway power basically is what I'm trying to say, and it definitely dampened all sense of like stakes, or I would say even drive to watch it, because you just know that Sam and Dean are not going to die. If they do die, they'll just come back later, and it's just ugh. Someone pointed out how supernaturals are made by people who don't know how to keep the drama going without raising the stakes. Exactly. Exactly. That is the critical flaw with Supernatural, is that it's written by people who don't know how to keep drama going without having to raise stakes. Which again, I think that's just an issue with CW. To be fair, I think that's just an issue with CW shows in general. Is that they don't know how to write without having to continuously raise stakes. Yeah, no, exactly, right? It's just like, come on. It's just like, there's still drama without having to constantly, like, I understand trying to make angels stronger than demons, right? That makes sense, but like, the show kind of forgot that demons and angels are like supposed to be equal in power. Because like, demons quickly turned into the lackeys of the show, which is just like, I don't think demons should be lackeys. At least not in this context, they shouldn't be lackeys. So I was just testing out the fingy movements. Oh! Hang on, what? What? Oh, yeah, weird. Okay, this is weird. Okay. Okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is gonna be a little weird. We're building an arm now. The weirdest thing. Sorry, that's why I keep saying Constantine was better than Supernatural. Would have been acknowledged as such as the and counted before the finishing the first season. Yeah. I mean, I've expressed to you, RCB, that my favorite sorcerer, like in comic books, is Constantine. I think Constantine's a very interesting character. I like the guilt he has to deal with a lot. The fact that Constantine is usually just incredibly overpowered purely because he's just really smart. Like he's a really great magician, right? But he's also just incredibly intelligent. So he's able to like juke out demons and shit left and right. He's able to break kneecaps by doing that, right? Break ankles. And so he just got really powerful by just breaking people's ankles like that. Like, I think I remember the time when he was actually called the one above God by some demons in the comics, which I thought was really funny. Like he has gained such a reputation of ripping off demons and like kicking their asses that he now has the nickname of the one above God. "12." I mean, I told you what happened in Deceased, right? Where he becomes like one of the strongest sorcerers for a single moment in time just to kill Trigon permanently. He killed Trigon permanently by stabbing himself with a spear that erases people's souls and shit. Just to kill Trigon. There we go. Look, wearing a Wrath of God cape as a loincloth will do that to you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, use it as a belt, first of all. So I don't want to hear no Constantine slander. Use it as a belt, not as a loincloth. I mean, he still had his pants on. It's like the one time he kept his pants on while doing something wild. So I think he deserves to be acknowledged because he must keep his pants on while killing a demon. Which a demon might not be the proper term. He killed the demon in DC. There we go. Yeah, but you'll see he didn't use it as a loincloth. He used it as a belt. So checkmate, atheist. I was gonna say the closest DC has ever gotten to the devil, but then I remember they actually have the character like the Blue Demon. I think it's actually called Kid Devil. Yeah, I mean, devil is also just a nickname. It's like a term in DC. Like I think it's like more in line with like a power level someone has is to be called a devil, rather than, you know, Lucifer and stuff like that. So at the time, I don't think the comic, like at the time they were making that character, I don't think the comic commission would allow someone to have a character named Lucifer. Which is why, specifically, they use Trigon, I think. Because it's implied that Trigon basically is just Lucifer. But, you know, I think at the time he was being made, the comic commission was still a thing. And they might not have allowed it. Especially since DC was trying to be part of that. If I remember correctly. I might be incorrect as well, so don't quote me on that, of course. Oh, I meant the Comic Code Authority, not the Comic Commission. I believe it was. I believe it was like fully disbanded in like the early, like late 80s, rather than, yeah, I believe so. The Comic Code Authority was around for quite some time. But they stopped doing the whole stamps of approval. They just made sure you weren't like having blood, gore, and tits out all over the place if you're trying to sell it to children. There we go. That's one arm down, which I know doesn't look like an arm yet, but that's because it has yet to transform. And as for the other arm, yay! Hang on, I just want to check. Are they online? Please. They're not online yet, I don't think. Okay. Hang on. I gotta sniff out this person's Twitter so I can see when they're going online. But yeah, Marvel Playing only abandoned the CCA approval and stuff in 2001. Oh yeah, okay. They were around for a while. Interesting. Okay. Let's build the other half now. Oh, hang on. There we go. Now that arm is done. Now we have a finished arm. It was my bad. Are Archie comics still made? I know they made a bunch of crossovers. I think the last Archie comic I actively sought out was Archie comic, like Archie versus zombies, because it was made during the time of like how everyone had to make their own zombie story because of The Walking Dead being popular. And I was just interested in Archie comics versus zombies to see how that would turn out. It turned out very, very gory, surprisingly. Which, you know, with the comic code authority being abandoned in 2001, you know, makes sense that they would make like the next big event story a zombie story where they're like killing people and like splattering them and stuff. Archie comic was still around, and they make Archie comics. They rebooted the franchise like last decade, I think. What do they have to reboot? Isn't all Archie comics episodic? It's like, what do they have to reboot, you know? Archie Comics actually published more than just Archie. They also published the Sonic. Oh my fucking god! Does Maple know that? Actually, I assume Maple told you that fact. I think a bit more modern, like art style, and change stuff around to be more inclusive. Fair enough. Did they go too far like they did in Riverside or wherever it's called? So I still think that shit was fucking hilarious. Making Archie edgy. That is the funniest thing I've seen come from CW's trying to make Archie. I knew before anything Maple woo, but she knows. Yeah, I assume so. Also, not to harp too hard. Maple is in fact going by they them pronouns. I'm not sure if y'all saw that on Twitter or if they have made an announcement. I realize it is a thing that you have to adjust to, but just, you know, try to adjust rather than blatantly ignore. Which I'm not accusing you of doing, anyone of doing. Yeah, no biggie. Like, I'm not upset about it. Just letting you know in case you didn't. Maple's going by they, them now. Which isn't a huge deal, because Maple is really cool. I like them, and I'm happy they're my friend. Oh, empty runner. I did not see that they limited themselves to they them now. I did say that she they and the stream titles and such. I'm not sure if she's she they, but I do know that they made an announcement on Twitter saying that they're gonna start using they them pronouns. So I don't know if it is she and they, but you know. It is what it is. Come on, you piece. There we go. I mean, I might, like, I don't know. I think it's something to still just be aware of, I suppose. I'm pretty sure they're going by they them, but I'll ask after stream. So yeah, I'm sure we can set off around just by asking them to explain who Ken Panders is. I will. Next time Maple streams, I will ask who Ken Panders is. Just to see what happens. Just to see the world burn. Okay. Come on. Everyone get nestled into your spots. That was super annoying. They just kind of like exploded out of their positions. There we go. Then next empty runner is this one right here. Empty runner. The list is getting longer and longer of empty runners. There we go. And then we get to build stuff on the backpack. So I'm actually going to take the backpack off. I jumped the gun there, admittedly. There we go. Okay, it's just a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. I thought I might have used them, but I still don't. Yeah. So you can use runners for a lot of things. I'd recommend actually sending them to Bandai because they will recycle them into Ecopla, which are basically just black versions of Gundams and stuff like that. Because it's all made of recycled plastic. So I'd recommend that. Or you can recycle them yourself. Either way, definitely recycle. Recycling is pretty pog, as the kids say. Remember when Chuck E. Cheese said pog? That was apparently, according to my sources, that was the only word that like Chuck E. Cheese said that entire stream. Don't feel bad. I mean, I'd recommend recycling them because they are recyclable. They are polystyrene plastics that can be recycled. Usually they're either polystyrene or ABS plastic, and both can be recycled fairly easily, fairly harmlessly. And again, this is not supposed to guilt trip anyone, but you know, just saying. We about to get our second to last empty runner celebration. Empty runner. Name bin is all the plastics I have, and I'm pretty sure they're. Well, that's good then. Because at least in the US, that shit is not guaranteed. All right. Wow. There we go. Extended those out. Then arm. To say the least, this mobile suit is is well armed. Hey, hey! Please laugh. I did the funny joke. That doesn't feel stable at all. That feels prone to wiggling, if I dare say. Yeah, that's prone to wiggles. No, RCB, don't leave. Okay, that's the backpack. Luckily, luckily it comes with a stand. So let's build that stand real quick. Specifically, it comes with a stand for the arms and the backpack. Ah. Well, that is drop number 5? 4 or 5? I think 5. I'm gonna say 5. Okay, let's get this on. This for demonstrations purposes. Purpose. Come on, stay close together, you babies. Oh, okay. Well, that just fell off. Okay, everything's falling apart here. Okay, I'm taking the backpack off to do this. I'm taking the backpack off. I'm bringing it close. Backpack is off. Shit's getting real. Alright, and that is the backpack. Very tenuous to say the least. It can stand, at least. I can't really show it off. I would usually show it off, at least not right now. Where? What? I think this is missing. Okay. We'll try to figure it out. I'm pulling this off for now so I can open the hand. There we go, and I believe it is a fold. Fold. Whoop. Well, there goes the... Okay, hang on. Bringing this thing in close. Or not. Either way, something needs to give. There we go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. The R. Okay, everything's falling apart. Okay, what the heck happened? Something went wrong inside the backpack, I think. Yeah, the arms came apart inside the backpack, so that's why they're all weird and jangly. Of course, I dropped a bunch of stuff, so that's like drop number 7. Seven or 8. There we go. So as you can see, everything fell apart. So we might as well just do it all now, like this, right? Yeah, I know. I'll sew one up next build stream. I think it's also because I have the felt on rather than my actual robo hands, so the thing kind of just fell apart. But also, you know, it's just the usual IBO weak in our like waist joint situation. There we go. Anyways, that's Gorilla Mike over here. As you can see, the backpack became its new arms. A surprising amount of articulation for a backpack to have. I think I'm probably gonna display it like this, honestly. So I like it like this. Plus, it doesn't have the super back heavy issues. Oh my god. Alright, and then I'm just gonna give it this sword. Do the hands... The hands have articulation, as in they have wrist articulation, babes. And I'm trying to see how this thing is supposed to hold the sword. I'm trying to see how it's supposed to hold it. Let's see. I'm bringing out the actual instructions. Ah, there's a plug. Plug. Ah, right here. Okay, let's plug in the sword. All right, and that is the Gundam Dantalion with its full cowl. Well, not full cowl. It's half cowl on. I think I'm gonna display it like this. I think let's surprise review, I guess. There's a couple issues with it, as you saw. Mainly with it being an IBO frame. IBO frames, in my opinion, they tend to get held back by the fact that the waist in particular, right? Like here, let me just like, if I wiggle around, yeah, it just, the waist falls off way too easily. The sword fell out because, I mean, it's just a single plug, thin plug with robo hands supposed to be keeping it in place, so that one's a little bit more excusable. Compared to the waist. The waist is a bit, it's a little too floppy. I think the aesthetic of the Gundam overall is really, really good. I like the more lanky nature of the normal Gundam, and then how the arm, I think it's a nice gimmick how the arms fold in. And it kind of acts as plugs for the chest piece, not the chest piece, but the extensions here to not be all wiggling around and stuff like that. Plus, this form feels more solid and stable compared to the previous form, which the backpack, as you saw, was all over the place, right? I had to like disassemble it basically just to get the stand to make it more stable on, and even then it didn't feel entirely stable, at least to the extent I would like it to be. Yeah, it's just, it's unfortunate because the IBO Gundams, I love the aesthetics of them usually, but just the models themselves tend to just be weak because of the design flaws that they have, such as I said, the weak waist is ultimately, I think, its downfall. It's unfortunate, but I just like it. The head, I think, is the coolest part. The head is super different. Yeah, I mean, I have the Age Titus. Though that's the one you're looking for, is the Age Titus. I have the Age Titus. It's a good model. I think certainly better than this one. Let me just clean myself up a little bit. Just, you know, go like, yeah, just, yeah. Yeah, okay. And with that, I believe we are currently done with the build. Went a little quicker than I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting to go at least 3 hours. But you know what? 2.5 hours, not that bad. Let's switch over the chat, Neil. And let's look for someone to raid, shall we? Who's online? Let's do her. It's been a while. Raid, Ripped, Yune. And we're gonna go with the normal Robo raid. And yeah, once again, thank you all so much for coming to my stream today. Make sure you get yourself some water, some food, Stretch if you haven't. 2.5 hours is a long time to go without stretching. So instead of you redeeming stretches for me, I'm redeeming stretches for you. Next stream, I don't believe I actually set up my schedule yet for next stream. So keep your eyes open for, yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't have anything set up on for next week other than maybe Ethereum and I playing more Warhammer on Monday. So maybe look forward to that. And with that, I'm just gonna wait for the stream to catch up. Have a wonderful day.